In this video, I'm going to talk to you about what most consultants do wrong during their discovery phase meetings and their initial qualify meetings. We're going to talk about how to run a discovery call that doesn't leave you confused, as well as how to make discovery calls easier, take the pressure off you, and we're going to explore why discovery calls don't work for most funnel builders and consultants. Hey funnel builders, Mike Killen here from Sell Your Service. If you're a funnel builder, you should subscribe because I produce new videos every single week to help funnel builders like you attract more clients, increase your income, and sell more funnels. I've got some free training in the description below on how to build a $100,000 marketing funnel with WordPress, where I teach you the themes, plugins, and automation that you need to build and sell funnels using WordPress. I remember when I started out, I would go to a discovery call or like an initial meeting with a customer, and I would always say to them, thanks very much for meeting, like I'm really glad that we could find the time, thank you for reaching out to me. And we'd have a really good talk and a really good conversation, and we'd feel really buzzed and energized, and there'd be lots of backwards and forwards. But then I would leave the call and I'd leave the meeting and be utterly confused as to what it was that I was supposed to do next. I would go back to my laptop in my office and think, well, I've got to write a proposal for them, but I haven't got a clue what it is that I'm supposed to write. I didn't have any idea what it was that I was supposed to put into the proposal. And this is one of the big problems with discovery calls and the way that people are taught to run discovery calls. And also, it kind of is like an overarching problem with how we're taught to run a business, because most of us sit down in the discovery call and the first thing we start doing is talking. If you ever find yourself struggling to write proposals, or if you ever sit down and think you've got no idea what you're going to write in a proposal for a customer who you've had a meeting with, like you know their business, you know them, you know who they are, but you still struggle to write a proposal quickly and easily, it's probably because your discovery call process isn't as solid or as slick as you want it to be. In fact, if you're watching this video, I'm going to assume that you already know that your discovery process isn't as good as it could be, which is why you want to find out why discovery calls fail and what it is that you could do to make discovery calls easier and less stressful for yourself. So first of all, let's just get the big misconception out of the way. On a discovery call, your job is not to impress the customer. It's also not the time to convert them into a sale. I think the biggest misconception that a lot of funnel builders face is that during the discovery call, this is the point where you have to really impress them and make it feel like you're the perfect funnel builder from them. So what we tend to do is we tend to talk at the customer and do everything we can to impress them. The problem is that basically doesn't work. Customers aren't going to be impressed with how much you talk, and we think common sense and that intuitively we want to tell them how brilliant we are, and we go straight into pitch mode. Or even worse, the customer kind of takes charge of the situation and takes charge of the process, and they end up leading the meeting. They end up kind of leading the conversation, and there's loads of backwards and forwards. It's also not your place to give advice. Your job is to not answer questions from the customer or the prospect. Your job is to ask as many questions as possible. Look, a prospect is unlikely to buy there and then. They're probably not going to say to you, oh my God, this is absolutely perfect. This is everything we need. So therefore we're going to go and buy from you right now. Can you tell us why we should buy from you? You just want to back off and focus on the questions that I'm going to tell you now. Those are the questions, or these are the questions that you should be asking your customers. So when you book a discovery call, instead of talking to the customer and instead of going straight into pitch mode or letting them lead the conversation, ask these questions, take the pressure off, and come away from the meeting with so much information that you'll be able to write the perfect proposal. Here's what's also interesting. When you ask more questions and when the customer talks more and tells you more about their business, they actually trust you more than if you just talk to them. It sounds counterintuitive, but the less you talk and the less you try to impress them, the more impressed they'll be with you. So the questions you want to ask are around, where are they now? Where do they want to be? And what's preventing them? I like to start with goal-based questions. And so the first thing you have to remember is your job is to repeatedly ask questions. Your job is to essentially discover, hence the name discovery call, as much as you can about the customer and understand as much as you can about their business. And I learned this from Troy Dean at WP Elevation. He calls it the go wide, go deep technique. And it's basically asking the customer, okay, what do you see in your future? What are your goals for the future? Where do you want to be? What is it you want to focus on? What do you want to achieve? And sometimes we work on like a 90-day cycle. Sometimes we work on a year-long cycle. I actually just want to get all of their goals out. And they'll say, oh, we want to have X amount in revenue. We want to have this many new customers, launch a new product. Maybe they'll start at a really high level and say, oh, we want a new website, we want a new funnel, a new marketing process, we want to hire new team members, we want to do public speaking. And we'll keep going and we'll go exhaustive. My job is to then keep probing. And if I'm with like the decision maker or the owner or maybe a couple of decision makers, I'll ask them, well, what are your personal goals for the business? And they'll say, oh, well, I want to spend more time working on business activities, or I want to spend more time creating content, or I want to spend more time at networking events, cultivating, strategic partnerships. And when we begin to uncover those reasons and those real goals that they've got, we actually come away with a deeper understanding of why they're having a conversation with you. A customer who is having a conversation with you to increase their leads and sales because they're going to be selling the business in 12 months' time is a very different proposal compared to someone who wants to increase sales and generate more leads because they've got a baby on the way. Your job is to find out their reasons why they want to go to the places they want to go. The biggest shift in mindset for me was refraining from giving advice. It seems like common sense to take the opportunity to sit with your customer and give them all the answers that they need. It's often said, I think Maya Angelou said it, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you've done, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And discovery calls are a fantastic example of this. What discovery calls do is allow the customer to feel that they trust you. And they're more likely to trust you, bizarrely, when you ask them more questions and when they tell you about their business. If they ask you questions and you give them advice, one, that advice is free. That's a whole other video as to why you shouldn't be doing that. No, you can't pick my brains. You've got to pay for it if you want to do that. But also, the way that kind of our trust centers within our brain works is that we're more likely to trust someone the more we've invested in them. It's a kind of a reverse psychology thing where because they're asking me questions and I'm telling them, I'm beginning to trust them more because I'm telling them more things about my business. If they lead with asking questions and saying, should we use Instagram or should we use Facebook? Should we use Twitter? Should we use YouTube? Whatever. It's really tempting to go ahead and offer them advice, but I want you to refrain from doing that. And instead, I want you to be polite but firm and say, I'll be giving you a proposal and a recommendation of the entire strategy and you'll know everything that you need to know. I just need to ask a few more questions. Again, let's go over that. I'm going to give you everything you need to know and the entire strategy and plan you need to ... achieve those goals that they've told you. I just need to ask a few more questions. And usually they'll shut up. They'll go, oh, okay, this person knows what they're doing, because customers need direction. It's a bit like buying a house. Chances are you don't do it that often. Chances are the customer doesn't buy these kinds of projects that often, so they're looking for direction and leadership from you. If you're polite but refrain from giving them advice and you take charge, so you're polite but firm, they're more likely to follow you. Keep asking questions. Keep asking them, where is it that you are now? If you want your revenue to be at 2.5 million, where's your revenue now? If you want your customers to be at 10,000 a year, where are you now? You want to be able to compare where they want to go to where they are now. And it's extremely important to understand as much as you can about that. If the customer doesn't know a lot about that, what you can do is say, well, we can happily give you an audit, find out your conversion rates, find out the number of customers you've got, have a look at your CRM system. And finally, you want to ask the series of questions around, what is it that you're struggling with? Why haven't you achieved those goals? What are your roadblocks and what are your problems? And they'll usually tell you, again, surface level stuff like, well, we just don't know how to do it. We don't have the time to do it. We don't have the energy or the resources. We don't really know this direction or strategy. We want to hire someone to do it. And that's another really good place to ask further questions like, okay, you don't know how you're going to do it. Like, what have you tried in the past? Have you hired anyone before? Is this your first time trying this? Is there anything that you feel that I should know before we get into this project, because you want to find out what the brick wall is between where they are now, where they want to go, and your job is to basically break down that brick wall. You are the wrecking ball to that brick wall. You're going to knock that down and help them get there. I've got a blog post where I've kind of written up this same point. It's completely coincidental. It should be kind of mixed content and repurposing, but actually it was complete coincidence that I recorded this video the week after doing the blog post. But if you go to the link below, I've got a written up blog post version of this exact topic, so you could go ahead and check that out if you want to have a written version of it. Was this video useful? Let me know in the comments below. If you run discovery calls and you absolutely hated running them, has this video helped you run less stressful and more intuitive discovery calls and kind of taking the pressure off you? And do you find it easier to write proposals now that you've watched this? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. I've got some free training in the description below on how to build a $100,000 marketing funnel with WordPress, where I teach you the themes, plugins, and automation that you need to build and sell funnels using WordPress. Thanks for watching, guys. I've got a couple of videos here which you might be interested in, talking about funnel related topics like how to price a marketing funnel and how to find your first marketing funnel customer. In the meantime, if this video was useful, hit that like button, make sure to leave me a comment and subscribe if you are a funnel builder. I'll see you on the next video. Keep building those funnels.